Hi everyone, so today I'm going to try out this IndigoBlu magazine I recently picked up on Craft Stash. I'll have it linked in the description box for you guys. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. And thumbing through it, there's just all kinds of cute ideas. Let me just show you. I already kind of unboxed this and went through it. It comes with these awesome papers. They feel like handmade papers, like parchment. I don't know how to explain it. I remember back in the day we had something called like onion paper. That's what it feels like to me. But really just gorgeous papers. I'm not going to use those today, I don't think. I might, yeah, I think I'm going to use the die sets. It's like a little poppy, so we'll put that there. And then this one, has all these stencils that are actually really cool, really organic and fun. And then this little kind of like etched looking thing on the side. I love it. And then, I mean, look at this. And this is what I was like, wow, this stamp set is huge. Or this stamp. And I'm going to use that today. And then, I mean, the stamp set is just so artsy and fun. Just such a great set. So I'm really excited to try it out. But as I was going through, they had a lot of ideas. One of them, I thought, oh, this is going to be good. How did they explain that? It was, because it's so hard to get things to be clear in just writing. It was one of those like forever type cards. They call it a multi-way card. In this many words, I was like, nope. I bet you if you follow this, it's not going to turn out. Those things are not easy. But they did it a little bit different way, though, as I read it. They kind of said to make the base, put it all together, and then have your panels and add those on top where you want them, which is easier, I think, to understand, but not quite. I was like, oh, we'll see. But, I love this little basket. It's super cute. It's just like making a box, but instead of finishing the box off, you're just going to glue them, in a V shape to the little straps. So it's really easy. That one's easy to understand, really cute. Because you can imagine if this was pushed forward and this one's pushed forward, it would just be like a box base. But instead of doing that, you leave it kind of open. So basically I'm going to do something that's kind of like the cover card. Oh, actually, look at this one. This one's very similar. I'm going to try out this one today because I thought it'd be fun. Also trying out some of the new embossing powders from Spellbinders because I have a white one. I thought, oh, this will be a good one to use that with. And their watermark right here. I have it next to me because I was going to use it the other day. So, ink. So we'll try that out. And just on black paper, I thought that's really pretty. It's going to be a little bit different because I don't have some of the stuff she's talking about here, which I probably have something similar, but I thought, you know what, maybe we'll try stamping on craft cards. She stamped on black paper. That's what happened there. If I have a piece of craft cardstock, yeah. And then paint the red on there with like watercolor just so it looks weird. We'll see. It may or may not work. May have to do it again. So let me grab a card base and the inks and stuff that I need and we'll get started. It's really easy. Just you're going to do the stamping. You're going to stamp this. You're going to fussy cut it out and pop it back on there. And these little leaves come from the die set with some glitter. And then she just chose one of the words. So I think we can get that done pretty easily. So let me grab some of the stuff we're going to need and I'll grab everything. But to start off, I have a 6-inch card base that I just have from my stash from like Crafter's Companion sub box or something, so that's 6 inches. They have a really pretty red, so I'm going to use this red too, and I just grabbed the darkest like red I have here from Tonic. It's cherry red, super pretty. And that one we can cut whatever you like, but 5 7/8 inch square would look really nice. And I didn't even grab the black paper, but I always have black paper near me, so I'm sure that's not a problem. They're saying to make your black paper that we're going to stamp on 5.5 inches square. Oh, look at that. See, I knew recently I used a piece of black paper, so and you don't have to cut this down until you're happy with how it looks, but she says 5.5, so I'm going 5.5 right now. And then so those are those, and then she's going to stamp on black paper and then paint it with red paint. Like I said, I don't really have that. I'm sure I can use any acrylic paint, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to put this to the side. Having said I'm going to use craft cardstock, it is going to respond differently, so I probably, when I paint it, I'm not going to make it really wet if I do the watercolor, like I'm assuming I'm going to do, or planning on doing, should I say. So let me stamp. Sorry, I'm just taking whatever's on my little board off here. What I need to find is something real quick. I need to get my anti-static pouch. And that is also available on Spellbinders now. But mine's a really, really old one from like Inkadinkadoo, and I'm sure it's going to leave white. It's probably just like cornstarch or something, guys. I don't know what's in here, but it's some kind of powder. Just because I am going to use... Just blow on it just a little bit. I know, I probably just blew it all the way. Good job. Not gonna work. Where is the stamp set? Here it is. We're gonna take this guy And the bummer about this is it's going to be hard to see, I'm not going to lie, because I'm just going to get this off of here. Let me see here. Yeah, she has it just like this. So, you know, I'm going to put it on here nice and straight, and that's what I was kind of afraid of. I might ditch that. This can be here. And maybe one more piece of tape. Just kind of eyeballing that. I'm pretty sure I might have to stamp this again, you know. I want to make sure that my paper's not going to go anywhere. This is a really big stamp, and also we're kind of flying blind here, guys, because we don't really know what we're doing. I have the white embossing powder here. Is it ready to go? Is it ready to go? No. I was going to say, I don't think I've used it yet. And then this guy. And I would like a piece of paper to kind of get this powder off of, but we're going to take our little juicy watermark pad. Hopefully it's juicy. Heat tool ready to go. You can also use white pigment ink, or, yeah, and then still put the stuff over it. This is very juicy. I can feel it's super sticky. So I keep saying I don't know where I put my little helper tool. Oh well, I still don't see it. So I'm going to use the back of my hand. Although I would love to find my little Eldarius Creative tool. I'm just making sure, old school, that I'm pressing everything. And what's going to be hard to see is that it's clear. So you're going to look and see. I mean, that's pretty good. I can kind of see everything there, right? Wow. Okay. And I need to get me a scrap of paper. Also, it's kind of like fun. It doesn't have to be like perfect. Okay. I'm going to put this all over. And I usually just kind of, I'm generous with it, but then I just let it kind of fall down. And hopefully it holds on to every area that way. And since we used our little embossing buddy, we have very little stuff clinging where it's not supposed to. I don't want to hit it too hard. I am going to take a brush if I can find it. Oh, come on. Oh, there it is. I have this brush. It's from Arteza, and it's actually a eraser. But on the other side, it had a little brush end, so when you erase, you can do that. Remind me of those tools we used to use with, like, typewriters. What I'm saying, it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's also kind of a fun thing. Look at that. Okay, so I'm just going to hit it with my heat tool, which is super loud. Heat tool, once you see that it's, like, turned the color, like, turned shiny, just move away from that area. So I always put it on high. I let it warm up a little bit. And when you bring it in here, hopefully you can see, as soon as it starts turning shiny, just move away. Okay, I'll be back. That's really nice. Now, let's get rid of this stuff. Generally, I don't do this on top of like my stamping press because these little, you never know, this stuff will get everywhere. Try to get it all back in here. I'm just funneling it down like this, but I can see there's plenty stuck on my paper that I just have to clean off. And then, are we doing black on the other one? Oh, I see. Okay, the reason that they did black paper and then painted it, because it gives it a cool effect, but also the black shows through, right, with the clear embossing ink. But I have black here, so that's what I'm going to use for this next one. And kind of a bummer. We're gonna, I think this, can this whole flower fit there? Ooh, yeah, just barely. Okay. So if I keep that there, I think I'll be able to do that. And hopefully stamp this without too much over stamping, because I just want the flower this time. So I'm going to ink this up again with my clear stuff. Hopefully the whole flower is stamped there. I probably moved it over too much this other way, but that's okay. Yep, we got it there. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to use the black embossing powder. And then when I come back, I'll have cleaned up whatever little powder is all around. I can see there's powder like all over the place here. And I'm going to do the same thing, but this time with black embossing powder. So again, you can do either inks or powders that are colored, right? Colored inks, pigment inks, because they want to hold on. If you're just using a regular ink, and you guys saw I didn't use my embossing buddy this time. I forgot, and I will pay for it. You can see it's a little funky in some areas. And honestly, I can come in. You have to be really careful if you're going to come in and clean it up on this one, though, because the lines are so thin, but there it goes. All right, I'm going to hit this with my tool, and I'll be right back. Everything's cleaned up a little bit. Without that, we have this. Then we have this that I'm going to watercolor on, which is a whole different look. Again, this is also craft cards, so we'll see what happens. And like I said, I'm going to do it kind of dry, in a dry way. So we will see. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm not going to use too much water, just enough to get the red paint going. And just come in. I might throw in some orange, we'll see. So I don't know if you can see, I'm not really squeezing it, I'm just letting the water that's coming in do its thing. And this is really fun because it is just whatever you want to do, as you can see. So I have red, and then maybe get some of this orange. We're going to trim around Fussy Cut anyway, so if it's outside the lines, I'm not even concerned in any way. A little more of that red, I like that. You guys, I haven't even squeezed that. I'm just letting whatever water is on there do its thing. Okay, I'll get a little more orange and go back around because I can see, you know, it's craft cards, so taking the color in quite differently. And just come in through here. And maybe some of that red again, just right down in the center, really get that in there. Wow. Again, I don't want to do too much because it's what it is. Okay, cool. And then I would hit it with a heat tool, but if I do that, it's going to melt this stuff again. So let me go clean this off, and I guess that's it for my flower. And maybe a little more of the orange I got here. It's going to suck up the color, you know. So you want to add... You saw how messy I was with it. I wasn't trying to shade or highlight or anything like that, but if you like that kind of thing, you can put like a little bit of lightness in here, and you can just even squeeze this and take some of the color out, and it'll make it look like it's more kind of rounded, you know. But okay, that is it for me, I think. Maybe a little more red right in here. I guess we can get a little more artsy with it. Okay. Just adding a little more red in the deep areas, like in here. You see what I'm saying? Like kind of where the petals overlap and stuff, so it gives a little bit of definition, but honestly, I don't think it makes that much difference. Okay, I'm gonna go wash this off, I'll be back. So before I go to do anything with this, I'm just gonna rub this away, just in case there's a little ink, or not ink, but paint, like on the... Actually, it's kind of interesting the way it took the shine off of the stuff, as you can see over here, like it's so shiny. I mean, it's shiny there too, but it's a little more dull. Kind of interesting. Okay, and then they said to cut a few little leaves out of green glitter paper, and I actually have green glitter paper here, Lucky Shamrock. So they have 3 cutouts, so I guess I'll do something similar. So I'll run this through a couple times, and then we'll fussy cut our flower and add a sentiment, and we'll be done. Yeah, I was actually looking at this. It'd be cute to cut some of these maybe in black, or like a shiny black or something. Add some of those in there too. Or just maybe one, just something else. Okay. Again, it's your project. Make it your own. Okay. And for this one, we're just going to glue these pieces down. And, you know, maybe I'll make it open like this. That way it'll be just kind of fun. So I'm going to pop down this big, beautiful red paper. Oh yay, this is emptying. This is the one, like I said, I lost the lid to it. And I've just been covering it with a little piece of paper to keep it from drying out, which has been working, which is interesting. But also, I just wanted to run out, you know. Okay, and then this is going to be on here like this too. What was that? Oh, glue. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take a moment to let this sit under something to keep it flat. So a lot of times that's like cutting plates or whatever can cover it, because, you know, it got a little bit wonky. Whenever you do the heat tool thing, it always warps your paper. I don't know that I've ever seen a time where it doesn't. So I like to get glue right to the edge, because that way it'll really hold. You know, so when I come in here, I kind of give it a little bit of a zhuzh so that the glue starts spreading out. And let's see how big that is. This should be able to cover it. So like I make sure this is completely covered. And I usually put the whole like Platinum 6 on top of it, but I'll just put this. That should be enough. And in the meantime, I will take this and fussy cut it. And I know I missed a little bit when I stamped right here, so I'm just going to pretend that that's not part of it. Okay, so let me cut this away. What I mean by that is that when I go to cut, I'm just going to cut right on the line, right on that black line. Just come around like this, and when I get to that little part of the flower, I'm just going to trim it in a different way. And again, with fussy cutting, you're putting pressure with your dominant hand and turning the paper with the non-dominant hand, instead of like making a bunch of little cuts with your dominant hand. Okay, I was gonna say, where am I going with this one? It goes in here, goes up here, right around in there. And I might clean it up a little bit after I'm done. It's just kind of hard to tell the ins and outs. This one's very flowery. So like here is where I was supposed to have put a leaf. Not a leaf, but I just missed that very edge of the petal. So I'm just going to skip it. But I skipped it in a way that still made sense. And honestly, I can probably just take some black ink and just rub it right there just to give it a black edge. Which is maybe what I'll do. Or even with the the watermark ink, you can do the same thing. And then just hit it with a little bit more powder on that very corner or edge. Okay, so I'll continue fussy cutting this, just following the contours of this very floppy flower, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I just finished that. I'm going to stick on there. I'm probably going to use it again right now too anyway. Because I don't know if this is supposed to be like super flat. Again, it's all wonky because of the watercoloring, the heat embossing, all that, so I feel like I need to stick it down completely. So I am going to do that, and then we'll put our little sentiment. Looks like they tucked the sentiment behind there too, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently, so that way it's just some dimension, even though everything else is kind of flat. What I'm going to do right now is put glue right to the very edge, and then tuck in my little leaves. So there's, if that's there, we have some leaves to tuck in here and there. It's not going to stick down quite yet because of the embossing powder and everything that's down there. So like a little leaf there, and then a couple over here on this side. Actually, I'm just gonna put this there. It's messy as it is anyway. Like that. Okay, there's some extra glue there we don't want. And then I'm gonna bring back, I guess I could just hold it down, but I'm gonna bring this back and let that sit there for a minute under that weight. And she just has the word kindness kind of stamped here. Let's see. Oh, that's cute. So she got the word kindness here, and then you can just do thank you if you wanted, but thank you for your kindness. We have whispers of the heart, which is kind of cool over here. Let's do thank you. Because, you know, like I said, I'm usually using thank you cards more than anything else. This is watercolor paper that I have just sitting here. You know what? Let's stamp it on there because it's a little bit messy. I'm just going to quickly stamp this. Oopsie. I don't know what happened there. I brought some packaging over with me. So I know it's hard to see, guys, because I have stuff all over the place. Let's put it here. Let's do thank you. And like I said, there's just some watercolor paper that I have here. I'm going to stamp it like right in here. It's all funky and messy, and then what I'm going to do is just cut it by hand, so it's not going to be perfect in any way. And I'll cut that right there. And then they left like a little taggy, so I'm just going to go right down the center. So we're doing this completely by hand. something like that, so it's a little bit messy. And if you want to take like a fine liner or whatever little thing and maybe do some little etchings on that, you can definitely do that, so it's artsier and cuter. And I'm gonna let that sit for just a minute, again, our project down here, and I'll be right back. Guys, my kids can sleep in the summer, even for school, you know, they don't really want to wake up, so it's like 8 o'clock and they're still sleeping. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is so pretty, artsy, super cool. I'm really happy with it. I've never really tried to watercolor on craft cardstock. I have done like, what's it called? Color pencils, you know. So again, if you want to tuck this in behind here, that's kind of what they did. But since it's so flat, even though it has a lot going on, I just wanted to have this kind of pop up on its own. I do feel like it's a little plain though. I used my little inky pen the other day, and of course I don't know where I placed it. So let me grab another one. It just looks kind of plain, so let's just add a little something. I don't know if you want to just be like lines going around and around, or lines and dots, which I also like to do. And then I'll do another set of lines that are kind of off what we did before, so it's just a couple. And this is a 0.3 liner, so it's very thin. Something like that. I know it's hard to see, but all I did was add a little something. My hand is wet because I was washing my stamps. Okay, and we'll just finish it off with this. And if you still like, you know, putting pearls on and stuff like that, you know, go for it. I just feel like this needs to look a little more rustic, right? I don't know. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to stick that on here. Oop. Don't take the whole thing off. I'll leave the thing there. And we'll just put this right here. Yeah, it popped up. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys. I am in love with IndigoBlu. Like, they just have the prettiest stuff. It's kind of funny when you look at their history. Their first stamp set was a Alice in Wonderland stamp set. So I was like, ooh, I wonder if I have it already. I might. From long ago. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope that was fun for you guys. That was really fun for me. And I'll have links in the description box. And I'll see you guys. Well, here's the original. At the next one. Bye now.